Right, so we're going to get started and the others will join as we go along. All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to another session in our webinar series. We're delighted to have you today. As always, we're always delighted. And if this is your first time, welcome to your first webinar with us. But if you are a returning viewer, um, our audience, we do welcome you in joining us again. And we thank you for taking the time out to join us again. So this series is a part of our ongoing effort to ensure that farmers, fisherfolk, and agribusiness stakeholders stay informed and empowered with the knowledge needed to grow and sustain their operations. So through these sessions, we're hoping that we'll be able to highlight practical solutions, opportunities, and services available across the agricultural sector, right? Today's session is particularly important as we focus on areas that is often overlooked. And one of those areas is the financial protection and security for those working in agriculture. Farming and fishing come with unique risks, a lot of risks we know. And so having the right support and systems in place makes a world of difference when safeguarding your livelihood and your family's future. We are pleased to partner with Guardian Life Limited to bring you this presentation on fisheries and agriculture multi-advantage plan, most popular known as Farmer, right? A product that is specifically designed with farmers and fisher folk, in mind. This plan offers a range of benefits, and I'm sure our presenter today will be able to tell you all about these benefits. Our goal today is to help you better understand how this product works, what it offers, and how it can support you in managing your risks while you continue to build your agribusiness. We encourage you, of course, to take notes. That's important. We're here to learn, right? So we're going to take notes. You'll be given the opportunity at the end to share your questions, ask your questions, gain your clarity. And then if there is a discussion, then Ms. Pottinger will be able to facilitate that discussion. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that you find today's session both informative and valuable. And with that said, my name is Jody Ann Tate Clark, and I'm the manager here at Agro-Invest for business facilitation. And I want to make a warm welcome on behalf of everyone that is online, as well as the team here at Agro-Invest, to our presenter, Miss Nadine Pottinger. And she is the Assistant Vice President, Employee Benefit Sales, Life Health, and Pension Sales at Guardian Life Limited. Miss Pottinger, sorry, the floor is over to you.
Okay, good morning, and thank you for inviting Guardian Life Limited to this important event, information sharing. As mentioned by Jody, I'm Nadine Pottinger, and with me is my colleague Ariel Fairweather. She is one of the she is one of our key persons who helps to administer the plan. She is a liaison person after your agent may sell you the plan and so on. So I'm just going to give an overview of the plan before we go into the presentation where we go through the brochure and so on. So the fishers and it's always a tongue twister for me as well. It's the Fisheries and Agricultural Multi-Advantage Plan. I named the plan, but it's always a tongue twister. And this plan was born out of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries call for the insurance industry to support the fisherfolk and farmers for protection for health insurance, critical illness, accidental death and dismemberment. I mean, your farmers, fisherfolk, you use equipment. There could be anything that could happen. A finger may get chopped off, or you lose a toe or finger. I mean, things that are body parts that are important to what you do. And the health insurance that protects you and your family. So the benefits generally are very, very low cost because we it's sort of an umbrella plan, right? And it's open to persons who are farmers, who are registered with RADA, Jamaica Agricultural Society, 4-H farmers, and different farming groups. And it covers a range of benefits from 500,000 life insurance, critical illness from 4 illnesses to 10 illnesses. And we have 3 options. So we designed 3 options so anyone can afford it. You may want a basic plan, you may want something middle ground, or you want something that gives you a really, really good coverage. And we've actually named them Fresh, Feed, and Flourish. Everything to do with the farming. Fresh fish, flourishing crop. We feed the nation. So we try to play on what our farmers and fisherfolk do for the country. And the farmers and fisherfolk can access any of our branches. We have branches all over the island. In Kingston at our Trafalgar Center, we have branches in Maypen, Mandeville, Ocherous, and Montego Bay. And we do have a lot of existing customers, especially in the St. Elizabeth area. And one of our first clients when we launched this product in 2021 is a member of RADA, Esther Lila. I think she's on the meeting, or she reached out to me to remind that she'll be on the meeting. So if you're here, Esther, good morning. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share screen so that we can go through the plan itself and some of the options and benefits that are available. So just let me know when you are seeing the screen.
We are.
Okay.
Probably you could put it in presenter mode. I don't know if that's an option.
Let me see. No, not for Teams. Hold on. I mean for Teams, but let me see. I'm looking at what option I can. I know how to do it for Teams, but not, we don't use Zoom a lot.
Once everybody else is able to
Yeah, is
see,
everyone seeing
it
it?
seems like it's a PDF.
Yeah, it is a PDF.
Okay. Okay. All right. Once everyone is able to see.
I don't think I can zoom in anymore.
For our audience, you can just put in the chat if you're able to see so that we'll have confirmation and we'll be able to proceed.
Is that better?
Yeah, we're getting a few. Yes, much better. So we're getting a few thumbs up. So
All
seems
right.
like they're able to see.
Okay. So, as mentioned, it's specifically designed for the farmer and fisherfolk and their family. Now, let me note first of all that the makeup of the plan, the health insurance. As a fisherfolk or farmer, you are able to have your own health card. If you have a spouse, and spouse must be of the opposite sex, they can be added as a dependent and they get their own card as well. If you have children, can be your natural born children, can be adoptive children, foster care, or if you have court appointed, if you're court appointed to look after these children, they can be added to the plan. So they can be your dependents. So you can have yourself, or you can have one dependent, or you can have more than one dependent on the plan. For the life insurance part of it, which is group life, the critical illness plan, which covers you for major illnesses such as cancer, stroke, heart attack, and so on, and the accidental death and dismemberment, that covers you alone. But you will also have to name beneficiaries for this part of the plan. So for the life insurance, naturally you have to name a beneficiary. For the critical illness as well, and the AD&D, because you may not use a benefit, but you may pass, God forbid, and we pay out to your beneficiary. The critical illness upon, if you are diagnosed with a critical illness, you submit the relevant forms and so on, and we will take it from there. But the plan covers 4 major benefits. So who is eligible? Any farmer or fisher folk up to age 74, between 18 years and 74 years old. And once you're on the plan and it's paid, you pay your premium consistently and you are covered, it remains in force and you are continuing, you will have continuing coverage. So not because you get to 74 that you're going to be terminated. It goes up to age 99. Okay. So we have three options, three brands: Fresh, Flourish, or Feed. And this is the coverage that you would get under Fresh. You will get, in terms of group health, 1 million in terms of major medical. I'm going to go into detail as to what major medical covers. You get 500,000 for group life protection and 500,000 for 4 critical illnesses. The next option is Flourish, where the group life coverage increases to 750,000 and the critical illness increases to 10 illnesses, covering 750,000, and Feed, which covers the highest benefit, group life of 1.5. So you, as an individual, are covered for 1.5 million and 1.5 million as well for 10 critical illnesses. Okay. One of the things that we want to highlight that is part of the health plan is the dental and optical benefits. So you have your card, you go to the dentist, or you have to see the ophthalmologist, the optician, and so on. For your dental visit, you know it's twice per year that you can go for your dental examination, where they may do an x-ray, examine your teeth to tell you if there's anything that needs to be done. However, there are some things that we do not cover. Most insurance don't cover it because it's very costly. Orthodontics, braces, and so on. Fixed bridge work and replacement of bridge work. We do, however, cover what's that other dental? No, man, the other dental thing that we do. Cleaning? No. Filling? Mm-mm. As the word is yeah. Man, the one that you can put the crown on after. Root canal. Root canal, right. We do cover root canal. And right, now that is covered under the surgery benefit on the health plan. Let me run quickly to some of the benefits under the health plan. So we're going to start with Fresh and show you the increasing benefits on each of them. So for a doctor's visit, we offer unlimited visits per illness for you to go to the doctor. So if you have the flu and you get the flu 12 times for the year, you're able to go to the doctor 12 times for the year. You have a back pain, as many times as you need, you go to the doctor. So for Fresh, our copay is $1,100. And that means if you go to the doctor and their fee is $2,500, Guardian Life will pay $1,100 if you're under Fresh. Flourish, this is what we'll pay, $1,200, and for Feed, we will pay $1,500 for doctor's visit, and it is unlimited visits. Let's say you have to go to a specialist, like an OBGYN or a urologist or so on. That visit will be, our copay is $1,800, $1,800 for Flourish, and $2,000 for Feed. One of the benefits I think most people would be interested in is our diagnostic procedures, which include labs and x-rays. You know, as a farmer, as any individual, you really should keep a check on your health at least once a year. You do as they say, do a sound. You know, you check your blood, you check your blood pressure, your blood count, your cholesterol level, your diabetes, your glucose level, and so on. So we provide coverage at 80% of the usual and customary rate that is in the market for those benefits. So CT scans are also covered, MRIs and any other specialist tests are covered under this plan. Hospitalization, semi-private rooms are covered, and it's unlimited days for semi-private rooms. On the public hospital wards, we cover 100% per day up to 2,500 for each of the options. Hospital miscellaneous, in-hospital visits, private nursing per 8-hour shift, intensive care, we cover up to 30,000 of the usual and customer rates that are charged in the market. And for intensive care, you are allowed 30 days maximum at a stretch. We cover for surgeon's fees, the assistant surgeon, and the anesthetist, and root canal. We also covered, as mentioned earlier. And root canal, if you do have to put on a crown as a result of the root canal, we also provide benefits for that. And that's limited, however, to twice per year. For maternity, we have two options. We have an option that gives you a fixed amount for our highest benefit, and a packaged amount for feed, for fresh and flourish. And we'll go into more details on that. Physiotherapy, occupational therapy. So let's say, for example, you may be injured and you have to do some rehab. We also cover that as well. Autism. Some of you may know that there just seems to be an increase in parents with children with autism. So we cover autism up to 250,000. So treatments, any specialized teachers and so on, we cover up to 250,000 for autism. Immunization for your children up to age 13, 80% of the cost, up to 10,000. Tubal ligation and vasectomy, we also cover for those who are concerned, even though they say that our population is not growing. So we can think about that and see if we actually need to do it right now. HPV vaccine for children aged 12 to 26 on a reimbursement basis. And we cover radiotherapy if there's anyone, cancer, any specialized treatments, cancers, chemotherapy, renal dialysis for kidney failure, and so on. Hearing aid, we provide once every 3 years up to $24,000 for hearing aids for each ear. For persons with children who are still in school and have to do school medicals once per year, we also cover that, and that is limited to once per year. So most persons will do it at September when students are starting back school. For two other options, we offer overseas emergency, and that is at 100,000 US dollars. So how this overseas emergency works, if you're traveling up to 30 days overseas, you go overseas, you have your card. There's a number on the back of the card that we ask you to call just in case there's an emergency. So if there's an emergency, you can reach out, and you go to a hospital, they will reach out to our medical partners in the USA, and we'll deal with the emergency. So emergencies like, you're in a major motor vehicle accident, your appendix burst, a heart attack, those kinds of emergencies. It doesn't cover if you choose to go to the US just to do a doctor's visit. If you do, we'll only pay at the local rate. So if you go overseas and you visit the doctor and their rate is 150 US dollars, we will only reimburse you based on our copay of whether you selected fresh, flourish, or feed. So if you have feed and you go overseas and you visit a doctor for 150 US dollars, we will only reimburse you 1,500. There are occasions where you have to do a surgery and it's not available in Jamaica, and you have to go overseas. Of course, your doctors will write to us, and we will do what we call a pre-authorization to allow you to do it, and it's based on the local benefits. The same thing for any surgery. The doctors will write to us, and we will approve, and you will be advised of what your out-of-pocket will be. Right? So, and one of the things we also advise is if you have to do a surgery, or sometimes you can seek and investigate the market for surgeons and comparative rates. You may find, for example, like dentists and so on, and we've seen that experience where, yes, they see that you have insurance and you go, you just want cleaning, and they're going to do dental scaling and x-rays and all kinds of things, and it ends up running up your utilization. So you need to manage your card as well, to ensure that what you go for is what the doctor is doing, and they're not putting things on it that you didn't ask for, or they didn't tell you before that this is an important thing. I recommend that we do it, because some will say, oh, they have health insurance, let me just do everything then, right? And another reminder, as I'm talking about cards, your card should be treated like your credit card or your debit card. Don't store it in the sun, don't leave it in the car, don't leave it on the tractor, don't get it wet. Do not lend it out. It is so valuable, because when you have emergencies, you need that card. It's an investment in yourself, it's an investment in your health. Okay? All right. So for the overseas, we have overseas non-emergency. So for example, when I mentioned the pre-authorization for you have to do a surgery overseas or so on, there's a deductible that you have to satisfy to get into that benefit. Okay? The same thing for your prescription. Let me get to prescription and how much that is covered. All right. For prescriptions, where's the prescriptions now? So, all right. For example, the fee plan, the prescription benefit is 80% up to 10,000 Jamaican dollars and major medical. And may I add at this point that if there is anyone who has a chronic illness, whether diabetes, hypertension, or so on, glaucoma, ensure that you have an NHF card, because you know the NHF and the government supplements drug significantly. So when you go to the pharmacy, you present your NHF card first, and then you present your health card, so that your out of pocket, what you're paying, is significantly reduced. And it also helps to protect your plan. So in the years coming, Garden Life will say, oh, the plan has been used well, they have not been abusing it, so we will either give them a reduction in rates or we improve on the benefits. Fortunately, since we've had this plan, we've not had to do that, because our farmers and fisherfolk have been, very careful in how they use, and they ensure that it's not abused and so on. So you treat it just like how you would treat your credit card. Any little thing you see that does not make sense, if you talk to us and there is a query, we will assist in clearing up anything for you. In terms of claims, that's an easy procedure and process. And we also, every claim that comes in, we provide feedback as to how much will be paid. If it is something that we can't pay, we provide you with an explanation of benefits to tell you why it wasn't paid, if there's additional information required, and so on. Now, one of the things we also want to emphasize, yes, let's say you start in May, you get your card May 1. Of course, there is a waiting period for some major procedures, because those are high-end procedures like surgery, hospitalization. There's a 6-month waiting period. And maternity, there's a 9-month waiting period for maternity. So you can come onto the plan 4 months pregnant and get the maternity benefits. There's a 9-month waiting period. So there are just a few of the things that are standard in any health plan that will help to guide you and protect you. I'm going to share the brochure at the end with Jodian, so she can share it with the audience. Okay. For the life plan and or accidental death and dismemberment, depending on the benefit you chose, up to 1.5 million. Upon your passing, name the beneficiary. And we want to encourage, when you name a beneficiary, ensure that their names are spelled properly, their right name, not a nickname. their full name, and their current date of birth. If any of your beneficiaries are children, your children below the age of 18, ensure that you name a trusted trustee, right? When the child gets to age 18, you no longer need the trustee unless the child is needs to be looked after. For example, the child may be mentally or physically challenged and may need to have a constant trustee. However, once they get to 18, we encourage you to let us know so that the child can remain on it without a trustee. But as long as a trustee is named, and God forbid you pass before the child reaches 18, it is a trustee that we will be talking to. So be careful and ensure that who you name as trustee is who you want to be the trustee. Okay. So for the accidental death and dismemberment, we cover based on the type of loss. So if it's a loss of life and through an accident, there's a double indemnity, right? Yeah. There's a double indemnity if you pass by an accident. So other than the life portion that we paid back, the loss of life under the accidental death and dismemberment will also be paid. So that will be double. So for feed, 1.5 times 2, 3 million will be paid. So on the personal accident, okay. So for example, if there's a loss of life, we pay out the full 100%. For loss of life, loss of 2 hands, and that's critical for the work that our farmers and fisherfolk do. Loss of 2 feet, we pay out the full amount. Loss of 1 hand and 1 foot, the full 100% is paid out. Loss of 1 hand and sight in 1 eye, 100% is paid out. Total paralysis, 100% is paid out. And then it decreases to 50% if it is a loss of 1 hand or 1 foot, or loss of sight in 1 eye, loss of 4 fingers and a thumb on 1 hand. It gets down to 40% if there's a loss of 4 fingers on 1 hand. That is excluding the thumb. If you lose the thumb and you lose both phalanges, the top part of the thumb and the next part here, is 25%. And if it's one phalange, maybe you lose the top part of the thumb, but you still can use it, it's 10%. Loss of your index finger, and depending on how many phalanges, it ranges from 10% to 8% to 4%. The middle finger, ring finger, little finger, and so on. Loss of hearing, if you lose your hearing in both ears, it's a 40% payout. And on the health plan, remember, we also have the hearing aid benefit. So you get this benefit as well as the health benefits to assist with any hearing loss. The critical illness for our fresh option, it provides 500,000 coverage for 4 critical illnesses. So in the event of cancer, stroke, heart attack, or major burns, we will cover you for an amount of 500,000. Under Flourish, which is our second option, it's 10 critical illnesses that are covered, and it includes cancer, stroke, heart attack, major burns, multiple sclerosis, deafness or loss of hearing, blindness, loss of speech, paralysis, and coma. And for feed, which is our large or highest option, the coverage is 1.5, and it covers the same 10 illnesses. Right. Let me just highlight quickly how our rates are, and then Ariel will go into what it is that we would need for you to provide upon application. So the health, you and your dependents, and we offer the 3 options. So if it's just the member alone will be on the plan. For fresh, the premium, and the premiums can be paid quarterly, half yearly, or annually. So if you choose to pay quarterly, and from our experience so far, farmers and fisherfolk tend to prefer the longer payment periods. I don't know why. Maybe it depends on how crops are rotated or reaping. But if they choose to pay the health plan quarterly, and both have to be paid together. The premium for the individual for the fresh is $8,424 per 3 months. So, and if you want to look at it on a monthly basis, that really is 8434. That's approximately $2,800 per month. And then when we add the other benefits to it, the group life, the critical illness, and the accidental death and dismemberment, it's only $1,839 per 3 months. So it is very, very affordable, extremely affordable, and we've not increased our rates in the past 5 years. If you choose a higher option for the individual, for the health card, it's $10,816 per 3 months. And the life and critical illness and accidental death and dismemberment aspect, it's $2,334. So it's about a little bit over $13,000 that you'll be paying every 3 months for Flourish. And Feed, $10,904 for the individual and $2,591 for the life and critical illness part. So there are various options for you. So you can choose Fresh Flourish or Feed. You can choose to pay quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. You can choose to put your spouse or children, and it's not limited to the amount of children. If you choose individual, if you choose a family option, if you have 6 children, your 6 children can be on it up to age 25. Right? Once they get to that age, however, they will be terminated from the plan and perhaps will have to buy their own plan. Let me ask Ariel to just jump in quickly, and just to give an idea of the documents and so on that we would require upon application.
Good morning again, everyone. I'm just going to go through the requirements for the application process. As was mentioned by Nadine earlier, you would receive coverage for both health insurance and life insurance, personal accident, and critical illness. Both portions of the plan, they have to be purchased as one, so they have to be applied for as one. You're not able to apply for the health only or the life, critical illness, and personal accident portion only. So the premiums would consist of both costs. For the application process, we require a few items outside of the application form. The applicant would complete the application form. It captures data for the applicant and his dependents. It captures the demographic data, medical history, banking information, and also beneficiary information for the group life portion of the plan. For the supporting documents, we require firstly the applicant's identification. So whether a valid passport, valid national ID, or valid driver's license. We also require a copy of the applicant's TRN where they're not using their driver's license as identification. Proof of age is required for the applicant and all dependents that are to be placed on the plan. This is in the form of either their passport or birth certificate. For proof of age for dependent children, the birth certificate is what we accept as that document. So we would not accept the passport as proof of age for dependent children because we would need confirmation, which would be the birth certificate to show that the applicant is the parent of the dependent. Yes, so if the dependent children are not biological children and they were adopted, we would require the court documents stating that they're the legal guardian. The applicant is the legal guardian for the child or children. We also require a marriage certificate. This is to verify if there was a change of name where applicable. Proof of address is also needed, which is in the form of a utility or cable bill, bank insurance statement, postmarked envelope, address verification form. If it is on your driver's license, we'll accept it as that, or if it's on the national ID. For the health card, once or if the application is approved and we are proceeding with printing your health card or the health cards for yourself and your dependents, we require passport size pictures of each person because the picture will be placed on each health card. That is the list of items that we would require for the application process. Once they're being submitted by your agent, upon copying the documents, your agent would certify them as copies of the original to confirm that they actually saw the original document. That's it from me.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing, Jody, and you had indicated about the presentation, and then question and answer.
Yes, you could keep this page up, the contact information.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's see if there are any questions.
I have a question, Nadine.
Hi, good morning.
Go ahead.
How are you, Nadine? My name is Adam McKenzie.
Yes, I'm seeing your name. Good morning.
Yeah. So first thing first, though, I'm an agronomist by training, then insurance advisor secondly. But you know that already.
Really? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm at Guardian.
Oh, Adam, you're in TFC 2.
I'm in TFC 2.
Yes, I've been to my office. Yes.
Yeah. So first, I'm an agronomist. So in my past experience, I deal with a lot of farmers. So no wonder why I end up in life insurance. But the question was I think Ariel said something about the passport pictures. Can't you just repeat that, please, so that for clarity?
Okay, for the health card,
yeah,
we actually place the member's picture embedded on the health card. So that's a feature that we don't offer a lot of our clients, our regular group health clients. We don't necessarily offer it unless they ask, but for our individual health and our farmer health cards, we do put the pictures on it.
And that's laminated, right? Because the farming environment is very...
Yes, it isn't. But still, we hope you don't keep it in the sun or let it drop in the water. Because it's swiped. When you go to the doctor's office, they swipe it. So you just keep it safely like how you keep your credit card and debit card.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we have a question here, Nadine. It's from Jamie. And it says, is membership in RADA and JAS the only recognized agricultural entities, or does membership in other recognized agricultural commodity producer organizations, like the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association, etc., are those eligible?
Right. And I had mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, I had mentioned RADA, JAS, 4-H, and other farming groups. So, yes.
Okay, I think there's a second part to say insurance for the livelihood of farmers, fisherfolk, where their crops, livestock, inventory equipments are covered against natural disasters. I guess this is a product idea. So he's saying that there's a need for it. It's probably something Guardian should consider.
Well, we only do life, but
General.
Or sister company Guardian General, perhaps.
General insurance.
Yeah, general insurance will be for the equipment and so on.
Right.
Okay. Well, we cover you first, because without you, there's no need for the equipment and so on. So
definitely, I agree. Yeah. Do the fees list? I think he's asking, the fees listed beside each plan represent the monthly premium that you would pay, or the benefit amount you would receive in the event of a claim?
No, it is that last sheet that I showed are the fees, and it's quarterly, quarterly, half yearly, or annually. So they can choose to pay however interim that they choose. So the benefits for like a life insurance, critical illness, for fresh, it is 500,000, and it increases for flourish to 1 million and feed to 1.5 million. And then we have different rates for the health card part of it for each of those brands. So let me just run back to the rates.
Yes, thank you.
This thing off. Okay, so for the rates, let's look right here. So for the health card, if you choose the first option with the least benefits, and you are coming on with just by yourself, no children, no spouse, every 3 months, this is what you would pay, $8,424. Plus, right, plus 1,839 to cover the life, critical illness, and accidental death and dismemberment. So we add these two together. We just broke it out like this so you can clearly see what it is. So health plus life, and this totals 1,839 plus, and that's 10,263 for all of that benefit every 3 months. So you don't pay us monthly, you don't pay us every 2 months, you pay us once every 3 months. So we make it flexible. So if Fisherfolk are out on the season and are coming in at a certain time, some people may wait for your cash crop comes in 3 months, then you pay them. So this is what we have designed it to make it work for the farmers and Fisherfolk.
Right. So he was asking for an example regarding the flourish plan. So if I may just try to explain.
Okay.
So she's saying for the individual plan, for the health component, if you're on the flourish plan, that's $10,816.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But you cannot take the health by itself. It's a package deal.
Yes.
So you would need to pay the 10,816 plus the $2,342.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. So the big question is, how do we sign up?
All right. So
that's the big question.
Well, Adabis is here, and depending on where in the country or the region you are, we have agents all over. So any of the Guardian Life offices you may call, or if you already have an agent with Guardian Life, they can also advise you and help you with the plan. Any questions or emails, you can send to me and Ariel in the interim, and we'll share the brochure as well. So our head office, these are the numbers for our head office: 9274105. Our Ocherius office, 9742440. And our Montego Bay office at Fairview, our Mandeville office at Ward Avenue, and we have a service center in Maypen. It's not a big office, but we do have agents who work out of the Maypen office. And for those in St. Elizabeth, where we have most of our clients, our Mandeville and Maypen office serve those clients. And we do even have agents in Kingston who have clients in those areas as well. Right? We have opportunities in St. Thomas because we have a lot of farmers in St. Thomas. So we have an agent who services farmers in St. Thomas, Portland. So we don't want to it's an excellent product, I can tell you. And not because I'm Guardian Life and I want to sell a product. It is an excellent product that is extremely affordable. I'm sure if you ask any farmer, can you afford $10,800 every 3 months? They say yes. So that if you're ill, you have your car to go to the doctor. You don't have to be waiting on a crop. You don't have to go through a fish fry to get the money to pay for your critical illness. Protect yourself first. Protect your family first.
Yes, definitely. All right. So there's another question. If you have a farm worker or workers that you want to cover, I know that they would have to get individual plan, but how would there be an issue if the farmer is servicing the worker's account from their bank account? I hope the question is coming across.
The workers are farmers as well, and they can apply on their own. In terms of paying the premiums, if it is that the farm manager, I mean, it's not really on us to determine how the premiums are paid, right? So if they want to make an arrangement with the farm manager to deduct and submit on their behalf, or so we are trying to see how we can get payments made at the PC banks, where we've been in discussion with them a couple of years. It's not yet there, but the premiums can be paid at any of our garden knife offices, right? And it can be paid at Paymaster, Bill Express, and so on, using the number that is on the card. For the life insurance part of it, we do issue a life certificate to ensure that person see, who their beneficiaries are, names are spelled correctly, and so on. So we provide a full service to all of our clients. They're not treated any less because our fisherfolk and farmers are important to us. So, yeah.
Is there a location close to Kitson Town?
Kitson Town is what, St. Catherine?
Yes.
Well, the closest would be our Kingston office at Trafalgar or the Maypen office. But once you call us, an agent can come to you.
Right.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that question? Remind me your name again, please.
Me?
Yes.
Jordan.
Oh, so Jordan. So as I said, my name is Adam McKenzie. So I have farmers. I've been talking to farmers in the Kitchen Town area. So it's not a problem with me coming in the area to give further clarity on what Ms. Pottinger has said. So I have interest at Agro-Invest. I have friends who work there. And like I said, my years of experience is mostly in agriculture. I'm an agronomist by training. I studied at St. Augustine. So it's not a problem coming there because I've been to farmers meeting before. I've done it in St. Thomas, and it's not a problem doing it in, as a matter of fact, basically anywhere. The world is my oyster, really.
Okay. And also to note, Guardian has agreed to come out to our agro parks, a few of our agro parks, to, of course, provide further clarity, facilitate question and answers, as well as sign up. So for those of our farmers who are on the agro parks, you can look out for those meetups, those stakeholder sessions. But again, the numbers are on the screen. So if you're interested and you want to go ahead before we actually have those meetings, then you can just copy these numbers and give the representatives a call. All right. For those asking about the recording will be shared on our
The brochure will be shared as well.
Right. And the brochure, right? So we'll share the brochure via email with the email address that you have registered for this webinar with, right? One of the questions I had
as well. I'm sorry to cut. You can share my email address as well.
Yes. So whatever contact you want me to share, you can just let me know and I'll put it. Right. All right. So I had a question. When submitting for the life component, when you're submitting the beneficiary, right? Do you need to provide any information for that? Apart from the names and ensure it's correct, do you need to provide like the birth certs or anything like that?
So for beneficiary, this is Ariel. For beneficiaries, we require their name, date of birth, gender, and their TRN. We don't require copy. We don't require any document to support the information.
Okay. So if it in a case where, let's say, the name is spelled wrong or something, how would that be rectified?
So in the event where the insured person passes and the beneficiary is made aware that they are to receive a benefit and they submit the documents to us, that is when we would know that there's an error in the spelling of the name. Prior to that, upon receipt of the life insurance certificate by the insured, it shows the beneficiary information. So they're able to actually see how the name is spelled in our records and also the date of birth. So the insured would be responsible for ensuring that the information that they provide to us is correct.
Okay, so the onus is on you, the applicant, to ensure that, you're securing your investment and your beneficiaries are actually able to access that benefit when you pass. So you want to ensure that everything is correct. So double check, double check, double check. All right. Do we have any more questions?
Jodian, may I be permitted to share my contact? Would that be okay?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So my contact is 876, very easy, 364-8000. And that's Adam McKenzie.
Okay. All right. And Anna is saying that she joined late. Yes, Anna, there's quite a few information that you would have missed. I'm trying to find back her question. 1 second, let me find her question. So she's asking, is this only about death benefit insurance and the medical? No, it's a package deal. So it's health, life, and critical illness.
Most of it is living benefits. There's only one benefit there for after you pass. Because the
Right.
critical illness is a living benefit, the accidental death and dismemberment are living benefits, and the health insurance is living benefits.
Right, which is one of the things that people complain most about. They say, I can access insurance and I'm dead. So no, this insurance you're able
But
to
the thing
access.
is, if you care about your family
Yes.
and you have loved ones, you don't want to leave them in an expense, because if you didn't prepare otherwise, something is there for your, thing, and to ensure that your family is looked after you pass.
Yes, definitely.
So they're
It's
both
an unselfish act.
Yes, it is.
It's a very unselfish act because
Mhm.
you're thinking about beyond you.
Yeah.
After you, what happens? So
Mhm.
definitely. All right. So again, the recording will be on our YouTube channel shortly after we end the webinar, and I've checked that everything is okay with the video recording. Then we'll put it up on the YouTube channel, and we'll also send you an email notification to the email that you would have signed up with to let you know that it's ready for viewing. No more questions.
I had one more point to share.
Okay, go
In
ahead.
the chat, somebody was asking what is the cutoff time for application. You're able to submit the application at your earliest convenience. So once you've completed the application form and have all your required documents, you may submit to us, and then it will be put through the review process to confirm whether or not we're approving the policy. So there's no cutoff time really. Once you have all the requirements, you may submit to us for us to review and process.
Awesome.
Yeah, but Ariel, you can also tell them that while it's the application process, there is no cutoff time. I think there is a 3-month duration on certain documents, so you can't be the application process cannot be cannot be extended. So you have to be very quick.
No. It's all depends.
I'm not hearing
We
you,
have a time
Nadine.
restriction on this side. So it's up to the client.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The only cutoff we have really is the age limit, which is age 18 up to 74 years old. You're able to apply for the apply for the plan up to age 74. Once you're older than 74, then we wouldn't accept the application.
Probably some clarification needs to be stated on that too as well, Ariel. It means somebody who is at age 74 can apply. Which means not because they're age 73. I mean, they can't apply because they would only have 1 year.
They can apply at 73.
So you can apply at 73.
Yes.
So that's the clarification I'm trying to seek for them.
Okay. All right. Thank you again.
May I say something?
Yes, Dorna.
Okay. I'm Dorna Parker, and I am really from Garden Life as Adam, and I like Adam's style a lot. But I wanted to say, in addition to what was just discussed, it's an excellent plan, as Nadine had said. And one of the advantage of a farmer plan is that for health insurance, the cutoff for the normal and the average person is age 64. But for critical illness, a person over age 60 cannot apply. But in a farmer plan, you have up to age 74 to do that. So that's an advantage for the farmer. And we really want to encourage the farmers to come on board, because these are benefits that nobody else has.
Thank you, Darna. I'll let those be the last words. Very important, right? So thank you so much to everyone. Special thank you to Nadine and Ariel for taking us through such valuable information. And as the call was made before, it's time to get signed up for your farmer package. Again, it's a very unselfish decision to make when you actually get insured and you think about who you're leaving here, just in case. God forbid, they normally say, right? God forbid. But it's always good to be prepared. And just in case or when that happens, you can rest easy knowing that your loved ones are taken care of. And the bigger benefit, as Nadine would have made mention, is that most of the benefit is for when you're living. So you want to take advantage of that. There is a question here. I think it's very important. A very good question. Is a physical examination, etc., required to get signed up?
So for the physical examination, it is on a per application basis. So once you get your application and review it, we would advise you of what additional medical information we need. So whether it is a medical or a physical examination or a lab test, blood test, etc. So it's on a per application basis.
Right. Definitely. All right. Thank you so much for that, Ariel. All right. So that was a very important question, and I'm happy that we got it in. All right. So once again, thank you so much, Nadine and Ariel, for this valuable presentation. Thank you to everyone who joined us and you would have participated and asked your questions. I hope and I know that you would be leaving here with valuable information that will help you to make a life-changing decision if this is the direction that you choose to move ahead in. And from the team here at Agro-Invest, we want to thank each and every one, and we do wish you a healthy, happy rest of day. All right? Do take care.
Okay, then. Bye-bye.